For many years, growing up, I believed that working as an artist must be such a simple job. I mean, coming from a Middle Eastern family, we see noble jobs such as doctors, astronauts, pilots, or I don't know, studying law as something very grand. So I thought, well, being an artist is rather simple. It's so liberating. You get to express yourself. I mean, to paint a scenery or write a beautiful story, or write a poem, or even compose music. That's quite simple, no? Well, I thought that until the moment I picked up the pen to write. And writing became a very important part of my life, creating art myself. And I noticed that the world of art is far more complex than I thought, especially if you want to create really vulnerable and real art for the world. Art, I learned, is not just a simple brush on canvas or a few notes, a few phrases you take in an old notebook. It's far more than that. It holds a very important value to you and to people who will see that art and find connection with it. History has also shown that art to some artists means their whole life. They dedicate their everything to art. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings is the first ever autobiography by Maya Angelou, who wrote this autobiography in the most beautiful storytelling way ever and in the most vulnerable way ever. And she talked about topics that were considered taboo during her time. Topics such as racism, dealing with sexual abuse, or also self worth. And back then, her book was banned from schools and libraries because it was considered too honest and therefore a little uncomfortable. But Maya, she lived through expressing herself. She lived through art. So she gave power to the forbidden. She gave power to the unthinkable through her art. And I believe that's why she's one of those souls that lived and purely dedicated her life to art. And she made an impact. She made a great impact. She opened ways for many other people who related to her experience and thought, I don't feel alone, and also I can create art such as that as well. But she was not the only one. Nawal El Sadawi, she was an Egyptian author who advocated for women's rights. And she wrote, therefore, lots of novels about exactly that, about women who were oppressed, whether it was because of religion or culture or family or politics. And exactly that got her imprisoned. How can you think that? That art made her go into a jail and have to sit there for 3 months. And the funniest thing about that is that she was still so stubborn with her art and the truth she believed in. She would continue writing on toilet paper with an eyeliner pencil. So she really wanted to get her message across, and it didn't matter where she was or how she did it. And she is also, to me, one example of someone who dedicated everything for art and for the truth she believed in. Now, these are people from the old times, but there's another person from this time in a country where it's also hard to express yourself. It doesn't matter if it's art or if it's not art, it'll still be dangerous for you. And his name is Tumaj Salehi, and he raps. He raps about the problems, the ongoing problems and oppression that is going on in Iran. And at the moment, as we are speaking, because of that, he's sitting in jail and he doesn't know what is going to happen with his life. So to go back to the beginning, when I thought creating art, making art is simple, it is not actually that simple. It could quite be dangerous and tough for some people. But that also means that art holds a lot of power. Because when you are in an environment where you don't have the ability to talk your opinion and to make your voice loud, you use art. And if even art doesn't have that freedom, then what will ever have that freedom? So, especially to you people who create art, I want you to know it holds a lot of essence. And I want you to know it's not just art. It holds so much value, and you have the freedom to be free through your art and express your concerns, your truth, and move the world with art, but also be moved through art. Thank you. Thank you.